Hmm. Okay. Other detail about this new album, especially, is that you bring back the Joker
Yeah.
from the first album, the cover art. So at this time, the Joker perhaps has a name for this is the pet, your pet from the band. What kind of role played in the music of Atrophy? Atrophy.
Okay, so yeah, in the beginning, when we brought the Jester in, if you ever bought the album, you could pull the album cover sleeve off, and you would see the Jester, and he was holding out his face. Um, and there was a theatrical theme for that. Um, and we shifted away from him on Violent by Nature, but I wanted to bring him back, yes, and his name is Jinx, and he's motioning, telling everybody to come into the asylum, uh, and so that came later. But when I was doing the artwork for it and getting everything laid out, that's what I saw in my head was, bringing back the Jester. And there's an Easter egg in the album, so you'll see there's the shovel on the front album cover from Violent by Nature, and I'll be releasing some more artwork uh, that went along with the album that we didn't publish on the album, probably in about a week or so. So it will tie all three together.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. I have the mask. I have the Joker. Yeah. Yes. There's a
Yeah,
mixture of.
yeah,
Okay, and well, as you can see now, the world is spreading the music as the 40s and 50s and 60s by singles. Now we are retro movement to spread the music by these kind of aspects according to the for the digital platforms. You can see the people are doing playlists. Even the biggest media are creating playlists to hear the new artists, etc., etc. And for you, which song or songs Latin America in general. And so how could you tell us about this one, about this canceled Latin American tour? And will you reschedule this tour for the perhaps this year, next year, and obviously with the plans that you have for this new album?
So for almost 5 years, I was working with one individual, and this was pre-COVID. And he said, "Oh, we're going to bring you down here, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that." Um, and we get past the COVID thing, and he's telling us we wanted to bring us down there again. And I'm like, great, let's schedule a tour. Well, before we came down, every band that he was going to bring down to Latin America, every single one of them canceled. And I got in touch with them and I said, hey man, what's going on? Like, I don't feel comfortable with what I'm seeing. And so what I did was I reached out to every one of the bands and I got their side of the story. And something shady was going on. And they kept promising that they were going to send us plane tickets and all this stuff. And we never got any of it. And we did not cancel. The guy was doing funny stuff or whatever. And that's why the tour got canceled. It had nothing to do with us.
Okay.
Yep. And we I don't know if you know this, but we just went down in Central America with Violence and Hyrax and Exporter. We did a mini tour down there. And that was originally supposed to be 2 weeks down in Central Latin America. And that mini tour came up. And so we moved and canceled the 2 weeks and went with the big 4 bands because, to bring in more people.
Okay. Well, talking about again from the history of in general for the thrash metal, as you can see, well, you mentioned that the big 4, Megadeth, Slayer, Metallica. I mentioned it while talking about now the promotion for returning to the album, returning to this asylum. What kind of plans do you have for this asylum? Perhaps you will embark tours, more videos of coming. Who knows? Perhaps you will re-record again Socialite Hate for the band. Who knows? Who knows? What kind of plans do you have for the upcoming future that Atrophy has for this new album?
So we're writing new music for the next album already. But as far as touring this album, we are looking at doing several different things. One is trying to do a at least 9 to 2 week day tour in America. We'd like to get back over to Europe this year, and if all goes well, we'll come back down to Latin America at the end of the year.
Mm. Okay, okay, nice to know.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, so one of the subjects that I wrote on this album, and it actually didn't make the album, was we had a young woman here that was slain. Her name was Breonna Taylor, and these police officers were going, and you're supposed to get a warrant to go into somebody's house or to make an arrest, and they went out. They went over to somebody's house with no warrant, and this young woman got killed. because of bad cops. And so there is stuff to talk about, but if you do it in the right way, you have to do it in the right way, or it just, because exactly what you said, it loses that edge. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's going on right now that needs to be talked about. But I feel like a lot of people jumped on the bandwagon when, back in the '80s when we were going, and they kind of made it, dumbed it down a little bit. So, we'll keep on going and writing good lyrics and good music.
Okay. And well, the last question, how does it feel to be the last member of Atrophy since the beginning? Because all musicians or the new lineup are since the 2020, 2021, and 2023. You're the last member since the beginnings of the 80s. And also, do you consider as yourself like the gatekeeper of the sound of Atrophy?
I guess I do. If you would have asked me this 4 years ago, I probably would have said no. But um, one thing that I know is, the sound of the band usually comes from the singer. And it's very hard to transition singers and keep the overall sound of the band. I guess I am the gatekeeper now. I It's not what I wanted to happen. Some of the other members couldn't partake for one reason or another, but I would have loved to have them join me on this venture. But I think if we keep the sound with the music, I think we're going to be okay.
Okay, okay. Well, Brian, the sad times arrive at this interview. I hope you enjoyed this
Okay.
one like me. Well, congratulations on this new record. It's a great one. It's a different one
Thank you.
compared to the previous two because you try to maintain the sound, but at the same time you try to present a trophy in this new era. That's a good sign, obviously, for the thrash metal, especially. So perhaps do you wanna add something to your Latin American fans and obviously Metalerium followers?
Hey, we hope to see you guys down in Latin America very soon, man. We One of the high points that we were looking forward to